and thank you for joining our weekly fireside chat here at ARC, the Anti-Recidivism Coalition. Our topic today, we will be talking about the momentous 2020 election perspective from our incarcerated community and our formerly incarcerated community. So our community will be sharing our thoughts and what it's felt like to either vote, not vote, and a little bit about the propositions that are on the ballot. Before I get into the show and introduce our amazing guest, I'd like to first run through some instructions as I always do each week. So if you look at the bottom of your screen, if you're on a computer, you'll see different icons. If you want to ask questions or communicate directly with us, please put your questions or thoughts in either the Q&A box or in the chat box. We'll be able to see them, and as time permits, we will definitely answer your questions. I also want to just make something where I'm wearing my pink and black ARC t-shirt. Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's very important that we donate to this and are aware of it. My grandmother died from breast cancer. This is something that's near and dear to all of our hearts here at ARC. So know when we're repping this, we're repping breast cancer awareness. Now, to get into our guests. So first, our very own Norma Cumpian, who I got to tell you about this lady right here. You talk about a powerhouse. So Norma, who's also a former life prisoner, and I emphasize former, has been appointed to the BSCC, Board of State Community and Corrections, for the state of California by the governor of California. She has also been appointed by the Los Angeles Board of Supervisors to the Gender Responsiveness Advisory Committee, and she is the vice chair. Something else that a lot of people might not know about Norma is she has been pardoned by the governor. Matter of fact, she was pardoned by Governor Jerry Brown. So our very own Norma Cumpian, who is our manager of our women's and non-binary compartment, is here to join us. And then our very own Jacob Brevard, who's also a former life prisoner, spent 26 years inside. Me and Jacob hung out on some of those playgrounds back in the day. He is the director of our inside programs, all of our juvenile programs and our prison programs across the state of California. So welcome you both. And I'd like first, Norma, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about what you've been up to.
Well, I am here. I've been home for almost 10 years. I've been at ARC for about 4, I think. I am getting ready like everyone else for the election. I'm excited about how things are looking, in my opinion, and I'm super excited about this talk today.
Thank you, Norma. Thank you for joining us. Jacob, take a minute or two and tell us about what you've been up to. What was your day like today, matter of fact? Because you were running around just a minute ago doing something. So could you share with us, what was your day been like?
My name is Jacob Brevard, and I'm the Associate Director of Inside Programs here. My day has been pretty good. I came in here, and Sam always, he's a mentor of mine, so he always keeps me on course, keeps me grounded in this work that I love to do so much. And I appreciate being here.
Thank you, Jacob. AVP in the house in our chat box. So today we're going to be talking about the 2020 election. This election is huge on so many different levels, from the federal level to the local level, that directly impacts us in all their propositions. And this perspective will be specifically for formerly and currently incarcerated community members. Our currently incarcerated community members from both women's and men's prisons will be calling in. But what I'd like to do, as a matter of fact, that might be one calling. What we'll do is literally, as people call in through Jacob and Norma, we're gonna ask them questions and make sure that we hear their voices. So on November ballot, important propositions such as Proposition 17, Proposition 20, and Proposition 25 are on this ballot. I've already voted. I believe Norma's already voted. Jacob has already voted. There are candidates, district attorney, judges, and officers that have enormous impact on our communities and impact the freedom of people that are currently incarcerated. We want to amplify the voices of people that are in those carceral settings right now and our experiences. So one of the first questions I wanted to ask until our callers call in, Norma, for you, what was it like when you were incarcerated and elections came in? Like, were you incarcerated when Joe Biden, not Joe Biden, President Obama ran for office? And what was it? What did that seem like to you?
Hell yes. I was incarcerated during Obama, and that I remember it so well. It was super exciting for, at least for the women where I was. It was super exciting when there was elections. We learned. Now this is, I'm like with you guys. We're all like kind of the same age, so that was like Pete Wilson days. So when I started my time, I was mentored by a lot of amazing, great women that explained to me how politics played into our lives every single day, and how it was so important, just crucial to really know who your representatives are, know what's going on, and how it affected us. And so when Obama, although federal didn't affect us as directly as the governor, we were so excited that we were going to actually see a person of color, a Black man, win that White House. Like, we didn't believe it. We couldn't believe it. And I still remember I was with my friend, Diane Fellman, who I'm still friends with. She's old. Well, I shouldn't say that. She's a little bit older than me. And she kept saying, like, Norma, if we see this in my lifetime, if we see this in my lifetime. And we were sitting there and we were holding hands and we were watching the TV. And I remember her saying, Norma, he took Ohio. He just took Ohio. And then we just like started crying. We were like, and I don't even remember now, like, why, if Ohio was like like, I don't even remember, but I just remember her saying, he took Ohio, never in my lifetime, never in my lifetime. And so, and she's older, white lady, been down, she did like probably close to 40 years. And she just knew, she used to tell me all of this history about like women, about how back in the day, how women were treated back then, and how women were not really appreciated in the workplace. And I had a lot of mentors like that who talked to me about how important it is that we get people that represent us into those offices. So hell yeah, I was there for Obama. Love Obama.
That's right. Jacob, I remember our conversations on the yard. So first, just so we clear, interrupt me when we have a caller. Anyone calls from either one of your phones to get on, we want their perspective. We want to amplify their voice. But Jacob, I want to know, what was it like for you when President Obama ran for office and we were having those debates on Soledad Central's yard?
Well, as you know, I really didn't believe that America was ready for a person of color to be the president of the United States. And me and Sam, we used to walk around the yard all the time and have this debate. And I swore up and down that if Obama was to win, that he would probably be assassinated. So here I stand corrected. Thankfully, I stand corrected. But it was a great moment in time, and it was also very empowering to see someone like me to reach such heights in life. And so it inspired me to be a better person. So I'm very thankful that Obama was the president, and I'm thankful that he didn't get assassinated. And I look forward to another man of color or woman of color being in the White House pretty soon.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's right.
That's right. That's right. I want to share something else with our viewers. So we came across this, and it'll pop up on your screen. San Quentin, people in San Quentin can't vote, so they held their own election. And it's interesting who won their election. I'm wondering if the audience could imagine, who do you think the people in San Quentin voted for? And so this is in the Guardian newspaper where they could not vote, so they voted themselves. And Biden won the election. Kamala and Biden won the election. And if you can actually see published in this paper, The Guardian, where you have a couple of ballots. And even one that says, I want to vote because I'm afraid of Kamala Harris. I like Biden. That's the only reason. So you see a Trump vote here, but just the fact that people inside that can't vote held their own election. And by the way, Biden did win by a landslide in San Quentin, and we're hoping to see a reflection of something similar to that, maybe. So it says, basically, out of 141 votes, Trump received 27, and Biden received the other 73. And so that's 8-to-1 ratio. But what's interesting, I think, and what we should highlight is people actually are looking at this from inside prison walls and know the impact that this election could possibly have on our country. And so I think it's important that we consider that people that are in prison can't vote right now. And that brings me to people that are on parole right now that can't vote. All three, Jacob, Norma, and I have experienced that. We came home after serving life sentences, we worked, we paid taxes, and we couldn't vote for a period of time. Now that we're off parole, we're able to vote. But that brings up Prop 17. And Norma, I'd like to know, what are your thoughts on Prop 17?
So Prop 17 is giving the right to people on parole to vote. And of course, I'm for that. I think most Californians are for that. So I think that when someone serves their time and they've come home, that's it. They've served their time. I believe that parole supposedly is set up to help people with that transition. I think it should be like services and helping people to re-enter the community. And part of re-entering the community is being responsible and being a model citizen like the two of you, mostly me, no, me too. And being a model citizen, part of that is voting. And I think the statistics show that people who are involved in their community, the more involved people are in their community, the more they want to take care of that community, the more they want to do the right thing. And that's why it's really important that here at ARC, part of what we do is give back. We give back. We did the breast cancer last weekend. We just do different things to help people feel that connection, and not having to be able to vote. You're just really disconnected, and it's not as anyone else. You're not like anyone else. You are disconnected because you don't have that right to vote. And the people who are in charge, who have power over you, they also know that you can't vote. So that leads to a whole nother topic of letting people in power know that you are powerless, to keep you powerless. Like you weren't incarcerated and you're not. You're out here and you're trying to get back into society. And a way to do that would be to vote yes on Proposition 17 and allow my folks to vote.
Absolutely. Our democracy in the chat box. So thank you, Norma. Absolutely. Your voice is your vote. Especially when we look at the local level, and we get a little bit into that a little bit later. But I'd like to ask Jacob, this is your first time voting. You just got off parole a few months back. What does it feel like for you, your very first year? So you spent 26 years in prison. You came home, you've been working the entire time you've been home, almost 7 years, I believe, paid taxes, and could not vote until this election. What does it feel like, Jacob?
Well, I think that, as a society, we got to make up our mind whether once a person's finished their sentences, are we going to continue to punish that person? If we're not going to continue to punish that person, then we need to allow these people to get their voting rights back. For me, I felt like coming out of prison after doing so much time and coming home and getting a job and starting a family, my form of a family, and not being able to partake in a lot of the political avenues out here, not being able to have a decision in who's on my school board or whatever. I see somebody on the phone call, Sam, so I think I want to defer to Norma. So
I love you.
Hey, Norma, who do we have on the phone? We get back to
I miss you. Hold on. I got to put you on speaker now. We got to like act right. Hold on.
Who do you have on the phone, Norma?
I have my dear friend, Barbara Phillips. Bobby, can you guys hear Bobby? Bobby, say hello.
Hello, Dark Family. How's everyone doing?
Hey, we can hear you, and you're live on Facebook for the entire world to hear your voice.
Hello.
Yes. Hey, I hope everybody is being safe out there.
We're safe out here, but we want to give you an opportunity. First, how are you doing, Bobby?
I am blessed, actually. I'm very blessed. Despite everything that's going on and all the chaos, I'm blessed.
And we're
learning how to adapt.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
You just have to learn how to adapt to what's going on,
Right. And that's what I want to ask you about, because like right now, everybody's focused on the election. I want to ask you, what are your feelings around this election right now?
to be honest with you, of course, I won't fight and win, of course, you know, because we have a straight up sociopath in the office. That sociopath remind me of my co-defendant, so no, he needs to be voted out. I'm being honest, but, you know, and for real, it's sorry to say, I feel sorry for Melania, because I feel like she's a part of a crime spree that she didn't want to be a part of. But neither here nor there. I hope that fighting gets in, and I just hope that people can recognize that it's going to be the changes that we need to do. It's hard. It's hard, but we can do it. And everybody stay focused and stay compassionate and empathetic toward each other. We can make it happen, you know, because systemic racism is real. This COVID is real. I didn't have my cousin's father just died the other day of COVID.
Sorry to hear that.
It's real, and we need to get that under control, and people need to stop whining. It seemed like they whine. I said, this is almost like World War II when everybody just came together and worked to make it happen. We need to come together, put your damn mask on, and just do what we need to do to keep each other safe. Whether you do the vaccine or not, you still want to be safe. You still want to keep your immune system as healthy as possible and watch out for other people whose immune system is not. I have asthma, so I am extremely careful around here. I literally stay in the cell, pretty much stay in the cell.
Okay. Let me ask you,
I
Bobby.
know other people. What's up?
Let me ask you this. Have you personally been influenced by Proposition 57?
That's the milestones.
No, yeah, but you know what? You know, I was a law clerk, so all the ladies that it affected, and using my platform as a law clerk, I try to influence the younger people or people that's getting ready to go home with milestones. Not only earn those milestones, but to have your mindset that you don't want to come back to prison. Because we had some of the campers land in our unit. We're in the honor dorm. And the ladies were so busy trying to get home, but get back home to the same toxic environment. And the thing about it is they never had a chance to deal with the issues that got them there in the first place.
Okay.
So I in my platform as a person serving life without parole. So I'm here, I see it, but it's effective and it's good. I've been hearing good things from people emailing me, you can email me on JK, but emailing me and telling me how well they're doing. And even despite this COVID, people are getting jobs out there, and they're just doing well. The CCTRP program, I got some pen pals. They're doing well. So it's possible, and it is helpful.
Okay, I have another question. So how long have you been inside now, Bobby?
23 years. 23 years. And I hope most people know that life without paroles don't get milestones. So 57, it did. I think 57 brought me down to 19 points. So I'm on level 2, but we don't get milestones. And but for the people that do get milestones, that added effect, it helps, and just hopefully to stop the revolving door, mainly.
Okay, just so we want you to know this, and as the executive director of ARC, and I know Norma agrees 1,000% to this, we're not done. We're focusing on changing both life without and making sure that everybody has an opportunity to get to a second look, a second chance. So I want you to know, we're not gonna quit. We're here, we're heavyweights in the fight, and we're on your side, okay? So I want you to know that first. And the second thing I want to ask you, in comparison to elections that you've seen in the past, how does this election compare to ones in the past, in your personal opinion?
Wow, that's a good one. Because I've literally been voting since I turned 18. I always took my civic duty of voting very serious, being an African-American female and knowing that people have died and put their bodies on the line for us to vote. And then, I'm gonna have to put this out there. The 1619 project, I would like to bring that here at CIW because people just don't know. People are so ignorant to it. Like, oh, I don't want to vote. I don't like the person. No, vote. Not so much as the quality of the person, but what position they stand on. And Trump had always let his position be known what he stands for. I literally have inmate Trump supporters, and I'm like looking at y'all like y'all are not awake. Are you drinking the Kool-Aid or something? I don't know. But this lady Barrett, that is so crucial that this lady ended up on the Supreme Court. It's bizarre and it's crucial that somehow, I know they don't want to stack the courts, but if we have 13 circuit districts, like 9th Circuit District, we got 13, we need to have 13 judges. Maybe put a Native American up there or something like that. It has to be something, has to be done to balance it out. So yeah, this election is really important.
Thank you for your perspective, Bobby. So just so you know, I agree, like the Supreme Court, for people that have not been paying attention, President Trump has actually had the opportunity to name 3 Supreme Court justices since he's been in office. The third one just was confirmed by the Senate. And this is like, being informed is so important to understand, like, this Supreme Court will basically determine what a lot of our rights will be, women's rights and so many other rights for the next anywhere from 30 to 50 years. Supreme Court appointments are for a lifetime. And so, like, one of the things that's important is to watch the hearings. Go ahead, Bobby.
Well, I don't know. It's just that I'm praying. This man, to me, I don't know if it's sedition, but you're trying to incite a civil war.
We ain't going for it.
Election. So I was telling someone that whether Biden wins or lose, they're still going to claim fraud. They're still going to try to intimidate people, but we just got to stand firm.
Okay.
Just got to stand firm.
I'm gonna try something unique that I haven't seen done before. And we definitely have it done here. So stay on, Bobby. Don't go anywhere. Jacob just messaged me that Jamera is on the other line from, I think, Solano.
Yes, he's in Solano.
Jamara?
Yeah.
So we have Bobby from CIW and Jamara from Solano.
How you doing?
How you doing, brother? How long have you been incarcerated?
Since 1988, February 1988.
Okay, so first, we want to amplify the voices of our people that are inside across the board. So I want to give both you and Bobby space to be able to share. So I want to ask you some of the same questions. Right now inside, what is the general feelings around this election that's only days away?
It seems like it's time for a change finally. I mean, I see things, the attitude seems different. It seems like they're more excited. I'm kind of old, so it got to a position where I have to see it to believe it.
Okay, let me ask you this. Have you been influenced by Proposition 57?
Not really personally, just be able to see people go home that I knew that wasn't going home before, yeah.
Okay, and brother, what is your sentence?
I have lifestyle, so it has an effect.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So I want to tell you the exact same thing. And Bobby, I said this to Bobby, and now I'm gonna say it to you. Like, we're not done. We're looking at life without. Trust me, there's been a huge training of all the people that have had their sentences commuted with life without. They will be the leaders in this next step to help bring you all home. Everyone should have a second chance. So I don't want you to think that anyone has forgotten about you. I said this to Bobby, and I'll say it to you. You have a heavy weight in the fight, and we're on your side, and we're going to be fighting to help you all come home.
Yeah, you gotta speak up, bro. I can barely hear you.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. You know, I used to hear people talk about they on my side. You know how that goes. But thank you.
So just for the audience to understand that, for people that may not have done time inside. So the sentence of life without the possibility of parole means that a person is never going to come home. And oftentimes people that have been sentenced to this, especially people of color, are young. And so literally we as a country, as a state, are throwing people away. At one point, people with the life with the possibility of parole, including Jacob, Norma, and myself, were considered to be sentenced under de facto, as they said, some courts found, life without the possibility of parole, because they were not letting any lifers out. And what we've done since we've come home is not just demonstrate that we can succeed and not go back to prison, but that we can be hugely successful and impactful in giving back to our community. And we know all of our people that are inside the system right now, if given the opportunity with resources and an opportunity to step back out here, they would do the same as us. So just want the audience to be clear that. Jamal, I got one more question for you real quick. And I asked Bobby the same question. This election compared to other elections, how does it compare to you?
Well, I'm seeing more people gravitated towards getting out there and solving some of the problems that's been out there. They see the problems more, it seems like, than they did in the past. And it's been I've been in prison a long time. I've seen Clinton come in
And your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Okay, let me, is Bobby still there, Norma?
She has 60 seconds.
Bobby, give us last thoughts for our audience. Anything you want to share, please, sister?
Well, definitely vote no on 20. I've been telling everybody, I know they sick of me, but vote no on 20. Definitely vote for Biden. Just vote a Democratic ticket because we need the House and the Senate. We need the Senate and the House. We need all three of them to make it happen. All right, God bless you guys. I love you, my heart family, and I pray you're home soon.
We do too.
We love you too, and we with you.
Bye.
So no on 20. You heard
No
that
on 20.
Vote no on 20.
What about 25?
How much do you know about 25?
I think cash bar should be eliminated. It don't really measure up for people that don't have no money. You know, if you could be accused of anything in city court, if you don't have the money, you don't really have no justice. You don't have no opportunity to really defend yourself. And it's never been beneficial to the poor man. It just seemed it never seemed to be beneficial. If you got a serious crime, you're gonna sit in prison anyway. You're gonna sit in jail anyway. It doesn't matter. You know? If you have that's petty, you might become a prison. You might become a criminal by just sitting in there for as long as you're gonna have to sit in there.
So our brother from the inside says the in cash bail. In cash bail. I'm right alongside with you. We also say in cash bail. And just so our audience know, we're allowing people to call in and give their perspective. And Jamar just told us, like, we should get rid of that system. And so when we talk about elevating and amplifying the voices of people that are incarcerated, this is a voice from inside, a person that's experiencing, that's living it right now. And he says, vote yes on Prop 25, in cash bail. Jamar, anything else you'd like to share with us? Remember, you're live right now, and so people are listening to you. You have the stage, brother. Anything else you want to share in terms of this election? And matter of fact, voting rights for people that are on parole, Prop 17.
Yes, that's the people that need it the most. We have a chance to change our environment. I mean, if I'm a part of the process,
You have 60 seconds remaining.
if I'm part of the process, I feel like I want to be part of it. If I'm not part of it, then I find myself in the cracks and the shadows. We need our vote. If anybody do, we should be the ones to have it.
What do you think about 20? What about Prop 20?
They ain't gonna do nothing but make prison back prison. And you know, I've raised a gang of people up in here. You know this, if anybody, Jacob, you know, this ain't gonna do nothing but make it a dangerous society. You gonna pick people up in here that got 20, 30 years that don't know how to do that. And it's not the kind of place. It's not that kind of society no more.
So you got a no on 20?
I got to go on to it.
No on 20. Any last thoughts before they cut you off, brother?
Say again?
Any last thoughts before your call ends?
He said, any last calls before your call ends? It's gone.
Okay, well that's two. Hopefully we'll have a couple more callers come in, but just want to point out that we have people inside that are watching this election that are directly impacted by many of our local elections and these propositions that are on our ballot. And so we believe, as always, to amplify the voices of formerly incarcerated people and currently incarcerated people in order for us to be able to hear their voices. They're human beings, they're part of our communities, they're part of our families, and it's important for their voices also to be heard. Want to reach out just in case anybody that's in the audience has questions, please put them in the chat box where we can answer them. Jacob, Lisa Lambert says, hello, wonderful to see you again. You got another call coming in?
Yeah, hi, Lisa.
An inmate at the California State Prison, Solano,
Okay, Norma, your thoughts about what Bobby said, go ahead.
Well, my thoughts right now are just really just Bobby and Jamar. They're both people that are in communities that we left, and they both have life without. So they're not looking at they don't live their lives thinking like, I'm getting out, like, for themselves. Like, they both just think about other people. Like Bobby, she's in the law library, and she talked about sending people home and having these pen pals and having these people that she mentors go home. And Jamari is also involved in the communities in there. And these are people that you and I and Jacob grew up with. These are people that raised us. This is how we were raised, by people like this, these very like unselfish people who think about other people, and they live their whole existence as other people. And I know it's hard for free world people to understand that concept, but when you have everything taken away from you, oftentimes you look inward and you try to figure it out. And when you are on that road to figuring things out, what you find is human beings are what's important, and your community is what's important. And I need both of those folks to come home and be out here with us and be mentors out here to the men and women that are out here. And they could have that knowledge and that credibility out here. That's what we need in our communities and in our society. And it just really struck me that we had two life without people, two people that just live their lives like, you know how they do. They just give back because they know they were in a situation where they messed up, and now they want to just help folks. So there you go. Beautiful, powerful words, Norma. And I don't think people on the outside understand, like, to give from your heart without expecting anything in return. These are mentors inside that basically our society has thrown away. And these are the people that actually, like Norma said, raised us in these different environments and said that you can be better than what you are. You can look to the future. And so we don't want to ever forget them. And we want to make sure that our fight is about bringing everyone home that deserves a second chance and that's willing to do the work to get home. We have another caller want to pull in. Jacob, who do we have? Powerful words, Norma. Like, thank you.
We have Eric Andrews on the phone from Pelican Bay. He's at Pelican Bay State Prison.
Hey, Eric, how you doing, brother?
Good afternoon, everyone.
And so you live on ARC's Fireside Chat. This is something that we do every week. You have an audience to hear, and we're talking about this moment.
number will be monitored and recorded.
We're talking about this momentous election. And first want to know, like, what are your feelings around this election, both statewide and nationally?
My feelings are hope for positive change. I'm not in the loop on everything that's happening, but I have been reading up on Prop 17 and Prop 20 as far as the state is concerned.
So what do you think about Prop 20?
I think Prop 20 should be voted no on. Prop 47 and Prop 57 has not gone as far as it needs to. go, in my opinion. As of March of 2020, only 150 people have gotten hearings. Only 7 of those people have gotten grants. 124 were denials, 21 people were stipulations, and 184 hearings have still yet to be scheduled, and that was of March 20. So all this hoopla about a lot of people getting out under this law, that is not the case. And I have personally gotten a 3-year denial under Prop 57 early board hearings. And no one I know here has gotten a release date under those hearings yet.
So I want to point that out. Thank you, Eric, for sharing that, first of all, brother. I want to point this out for our audience that need to fully understand, for those who are opposed or pro Prop 20. The false narrative is that it's letting people out of prison early. That's just a lie. What it does is it allows a person to go before the Board of Parole hearings, as Eric did, and prove their case that they should be given a second opportunity. Eric will be going back in 3 years. He was denied. So it's not like Eric was let out. Eric will be going back in 3 years, and hopefully, and I pray that Eric will be coming home. But what the point is to our audience is that the lie that's being told under Prop 20 is that it's letting people out early, and that's just not true. And people that write propositions like this or send information into our community should not lie to the public. Tell the truth, please. Representatives, elected officials, advocates, our job is to walk in integrity and tell the truth. Eric, we'll definitely be supporting you. I know hopefully you're enrolled in our programs there at Pelican Bay with Mark and Joseph. I have another question for you, brother. And I might know this one already, just based on list of what you said. How has Prop 57 influenced you?
Well, just the sheer opportunity for early release has provoked individuals to and spurred individuals to do the right thing, and start focusing on getting the criteria necessary, such as NAAA, CGA, and so on and so forth. Upon my board hearing, I was required to receive more CGA, being a former gang member. And since then, I have done so in spades. I've acquired 3 different CGAs since then. So, and went even farther than that for some more CGA, denial management, victims impact, and so on and so forth. So I'm doing my part. And what that allowed me to do was to get an understanding of what they wanted from me and complete that.
Let me ask you, Eric, how long have you been incarcerated?
24 years.
24 years. So you've seen a few elections during that time. Let me ask you this election, in comparison to all the other elections that you've observed, can you give me a comparison? What's the comparison in your estimation?
My comparison from this election to all the others is, in one word, divided. There's really no room for people to say whether, or be swayed, I should say. People are either for one or against the other. And because of that, I feel like it's developed a lot of hostility in our nation now.
You know what? That's some great insight from an organization, from me also, like great insight, Eric. Anything you want to share with? So let me ask you about Prop 17. What are your thoughts on Prop 17, voting rights for people that have completed their prison term?
Right. Well, I think it's a good thing, man. I think it would motivate individuals to become productive citizens in our society, knowing that they have their voter rights back. To engage in the political system, because now you would be forced to understand what propositions or laws are trying to be passed, so your voice can be heard. So it would invoke individuals once they receive their voter rights back to be participants, fully participants in the process.
Norma and Jacob, and I should have done this in the other previous calls too. Any questions that you have for Eric that you'd like to ask Eric before he goes?
Well, no, I hope I was of some assistance.
No,
And I appreciate
he was
Eric,
asking
you're
us,
great.
yeah, he was asking us, do we have any questions for you? Norma, do you have any questions?
Eric, you were great here. Thank you for calling in.
I appreciate you having me.
I have a question for you though. So you've been down 24 years. That's correct, right? And you are currently under the 3 strikes law.
I am.
So what if 20 was to be successful? What do you think that would do to you and your morale and your goal as far as becoming a productive member of society? How would that hamper it?
On a personal note,
yes,
it would not change my point of view one way or the other. My sights are set on my freedom and the things I need to achieve to gain them, and even farther than that, the things that I need to keep them. But speaking for others, I'm sure that there would be a deterrent in a certain way. But as most of you men there know, we've had to deal with a lot of back and forth in regard to laws and how they're applied and how they're used.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Even when they're passed. So it's an abundance of highs and lows for us being incarcerated in regards to laws changing and how they're being applied. So I think a lot of people have become callous to the situation. You know, if it applies to them, great. If it doesn't, they try to move on for the most part. And some, of our less stronger individuals fall off and fall into other things. But on a personal note, I don't think it would affect me at all. Go ahead, Eric. It's on you. Because it allows individuals the understanding that they can achieve their freedom, because it doesn't just apply to 3 strike lifers. You know, there's been an abundance of 2 strike lifers who've been denied. 2 strikes who've been denied. 2 non-lifers. They've been denied early parole for this, that, or the other. An abundance of them have went to the board and been denied. So it's not just 3 strikers, it's 2 strikers also.
I asked you that question because I wanted people to understand that the people that are affected by 57 and 47 and 109, they're coming home anyway. This is not a passage to let somebody out that's not going to get out. Everyone that's going to be affected by 57 and 47 is already coming home, and I think people need to be aware of that, because we want people to come home as whole, productive citizens and not come home as broken people.
Absolutely, because essentially the only thing Prop 57 allowed me to do was go to the board a year and a half earlier. I was going to the board anyway. It just allowed me to go a year and a half earlier, and to a certain degree prepared me, because now when I go back, I'll have everything I will have acquired everything they have asked of me.
Eric, anything you want to share with the audience? Because I know time is about to cut short. And if we have that call come through, Norma, just signal us and let us know. Anything else you want to share with the audience that's listening to you, Eric?
No, not really. I would like to take this opportunity to wish everybody good health in this pandemic season, and implore everybody to go vote.
Hey, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. In our chat box, Joseph says, wanting some to get help, even if it doesn't include oneself, is a strong spirit in ARC. In 2014, I favored Prop 47, though it did leave many out and some reform people didn't support it. I asked some ARC people who, because of their priors, wouldn't be helped by 47 in the case of future arrest. They were immediately and unanimously in favor of Prop 47. This year's yes by ARC on Prop 25 impressed me again. We know we can fight hard for those not yet getting help. And I want to really echo that. Incremental change is not something that everybody agrees with, but we keep going back. 24 laws that we've helped now advocate for, pass, and write are in play. In 3 of those laws, we've went back to change again. So Senate Bill 9, which was passed in 2012, changed after we passed Senate Bill 394, which ended life without the possibility of parole for juveniles. Senate Bill 395, which gave juveniles Miranda rights that were under the age of 16 and had a sunset of 2024. We went back and we changed that this year. Now all juveniles are protected and it has no sunset. Senate Bill 260, 261, and Assembly Bill 1308 were all bills that added from the first bill, from Senate Bill 260. And yes, sometimes a bill, when we initially pass it, doesn't cover everything, but we continue to go back. The question from someone, Beth Ford, how can someone on the inside become an advocate to reduce recidivism? How can I advocate for my loved one? Both Norma and Jacob would love for you to answer that. So someone inside, how can you be an advocate? Because there are different ways to advocate. And then how can that person that's out here advocate for their loved one?
Oh, there's many, like Sam said, there's many ways to advocate. I think one of the strongest ways to advocate while you're inside is through the mail. You can write a lot of people. You can advocate for people to go vote for bills that are in your favor. I also think there's an opportunity for you to really get involved and advocate within the prison, because within the prison, I don't think a lot of people are very familiar or very aware of a lot of the political ongoings of what's going on here in the streets, and just making people in prison aware so they can make their people aware to go out and vote, I think is extremely powerful way to advocate from the inside. And from the outside, when you're somebody on the outside and you're advocating for someone on the inside, I think you just got to get involved. You have to go knock on doors like I'm going to do today. Go knock on some doors and just let people know that you are affected negatively by these laws and they need to change.
Norma, definitely want to hear what your thoughts are. How can a person that's inside advocate? And I think Bobby gave us a great example, but also how can their family members that are out here advocate for them?
Yeah, I think when you're inside, there is a huge opportunity in there to advocate, and that is to advocate with the people that you're there with. Our system is meant to separate us. Our system is meant to dehumanize us. It's a racist system. It's an unjust system. And we have to organize ourselves. We have to pull together ourselves and organize and stick together and help each other inside, learn those laws like what Bobby was doing, help the people that are coming behind you. If people would have just stuck to themselves and were like, look at that little chick, that little 20-year-old chick, hope she makes it on the yard. If people treated me like that, I would not be here today. I wouldn't be sitting here before you. We have to pull together and remember what this system is meant to do and organize anyway, stick together anyway. And that's what we need to do inside. And I heard people on this call today, so excited. I'm trying not to cry, just to hear people doing that, organizing and hearing them helping other people. That's where it's at. That's where it's golden right there. And then for people out here, for families, I mean, there's just, unfortunately, there's a lot of like shame in our families, some of our families. There's a lot of like hurt and like chaos, and that again is building a community. So sign on to people like ARC, sign on to our newsletter, be informed, be educated about things that can affect your people in there. Vote, get to know who your assembly person is, get to know your senator. You can go in their office. You can go up to Sacramento, go in their office. They'll let you usually put like a little pin by where your house is. If you're a constituent, get to know your people that you voted for. They work for you. They work for you. Let them know you have people incarcerated that you care about. We need to shine the light in there, really. Get some media in there, get some like cameras in there, and like, we got to like shine the light and show them the goodness of our people in there who are working on themselves and who are trying to be better people, the people that were there for us. That's what we got to do out here.
I must echo what you and Jacob said. So on the inside, advocacy can be in the form of many different things: education, motivation, supporting each other, being kind to each other. I remember watching people learn how to teach each other how to write, how to enroll in college. When one finds the way, teach others to find a way. That's a form of advocacy. And literally, that's what led to many of us coming home that were sentenced to life with the possibility of parole. We shared information, we worked together, we pushed, and it crossed all lines. Like no race, none of that mattered. It was the fact that we all want to come home to our families. In terms of family members that are out here, be informed, like Norma said, like really read who's running for office, read about the laws that are being passed, and then ask your loved ones that are inside, how does this impact you? Really, really understand these laws that are being passed and plug into organizations like ARC. ARC is not the only organization. There are other organizations that are involved in policy work, but make sure that you are fully informed on what's going on. You can advocate for your loved one. The last thing I'll say on this is when your loved one does come home, I've always believed this and I still believe this. When it comes to advocacy and leading in this movement to change our criminal justice system, people that have lived it, that have been it, that have suffered through it should be centered and should be those that are leading and supported by all of our allies. Right? That's just the way I believe. If you look at any movement, the people that were impacted the most are the ones that led, supported by their allies. So I was hoping that we would get one more call from CIW. We're coming close to time, and so I was going to push it past this, but it looks like we may not get that call. But just want everybody that's listening right now to understand and know that we're going to continue to amplify the voices of people that are inside, and like to give our amazing guests an opportunity to share their last thoughts before we close out. Norma, your thoughts. Come on, boss lady. What do you think? Election coming up, and what can we do after post-election, after the election?
I am super hopeful. I think that we are going to have a new president. I'm super excited about it. I'm very hopeful. I hope too that a lot of our stuff. Wait, hold on. This might be. Oh no. Okay. A lot of our stuff is going to go through, and no matter what happens, it's just important that your voice is heard and that you make that personal commitment to care about your community enough that you vote. Become aware of these issues that affect you, that are important to you, and make your voice heard. Know who your assembly person is, who your state senator is, and drop them an email whenever you feel like it, because they work for you. And most importantly, stay united. Those of us that are formerly incarcerated, with this passing of Proposition 17, it's going to give us a block. I mean, wouldn't that be amazing if like next time there's an election, they're like, wait a minute, that might be trampling on the formerly incarcerated folks. Hold on. We got to change our view. We got to, like, we're going to be a block. And as that block, we need to stick together and move as that block moves. Like we have seen our ancestors do this. We've seen women do this. We've seen people of color. We've seen Black folks do this. Latino, Asians, they're moving. They're making people make choices because of their block. So let us be that next block.
That's what I'm talking about, Norma.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Jacob, last thoughts. I don't know if you're going to be
that kind of got me up, a little worked up. Thanks for throwing that block, Norma. You know, they're going to break me out to the touchdown. But, you know, I really believe that, you know, for me, everything is about education, you know. So I think that we have an obligation, because when you're talking about voting, it's more to voting than just going down there and casting your ballot. There's a responsibility that comes with voting, and that responsibility is to educate yourself so you can make sure that you're voting on bills and propositions that affects you in your community in a positive manner. You want to also make sure that you take the time to research these candidates, man, and not just be enamorated. Excuse me, I can't say the word, so I'll choose another word. Or so not just be infatuated with these politicians because they sound good or look good. Look at their records. Look at what they're voting on. Look at where they're showing up. Look at what they're doing. Not what they're saying. Look at what they're doing. We have an obligation to educate ourselves and to know our candidates so we can make informed decisions when we make these votes, because these votes will come back and haunt us. Hashtag the 3 strikes law. A lot of people voted for that and didn't really realize what they were voting for. So here's an opportunity not to fall into that trap, to educate yourself, especially around the propositions that have a direct result or effect on us, such as 17, 20, and 25, but on all the propositions, and just play an active role in the elections, whether it's a poll worker, knocking on doors, get involved, and let's go out here and defeat this whatever it is we need to defeat. So I'll give it back to you, Sam.
Thank you so much, Jacob. And just want to, like, my last thoughts for the audience. If you think of 2020 and you think of this year and everything we've gone through, people marched in the streets and wanted to be heard. The entire world focused on us. And the question is, now we finished marching and now it's time to go to the polls. Now it's time to go vote. Go vote. Vote your heart. Make sure that you're educated. But remember, your voice is your voice is your vote. If you don't vote, you're literally silencing yourself. Your power is in the ballot, especially on the local level. Our everyday lives are dictated by who we vote into office. Our everyday lives are dictated by the laws and the policies that are set in effect on the local level. The federal level is just as important, because we've seen the impact with federal troops being sent into cities. We've seen the impact of what different people can do in leadership with either trying to bring a country together or divide a country. We've seen the different things. So know that your vote matters, and please get out there and vote and be educated. If you want to know our position on all of the propositions, please take a look at our website at arcinfo.com. We have a voter guide up. You can also find it on Instagram. You can find it on my Instagram. You can find it on my Facebook page. I posted it. So we're yes on 15. We're yes on 16. We're yes on 17. We're no on 20. We're yes on Measure J, and we're yes on 25. So if you're not sure, please look it up. That's our position as an organization, as individuals. And our reasoning behind this is because we've studied it. We're working in close proximity to making either these laws pass or not. So please be educated on your vote. And more than anything, get out and vote. Next week on this show, we will be talking about election results. And we're going to have a couple of people that might surprise you that are going to be on the show next week. So I want to just thank you, Norma, Boss Lady, and Jacob. Appreciate you both being here. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone who joined. Watch the election on Tuesday. Stay safe. God bless, and peace.